Did you know that a small silver coin minted more than 80 years ago can sometimes be worth the price of a luxury house or even millions of dollars? Yes, I'm talking about the legendary 1942 Mercury Dime. At first glance, it's just a 10-cent coin with a beautiful winged Liberty head design, but hidden inside this little piece of silver lies a treasure story that collectors chase worldwide. If you've ever gone through your old coin jar, an inherited collection, or even loose change from antique stores, you might just hold one of these rare gems without realizing it. And if you do, trust me, you could be holding something that could change your life financially. The 1942 Mercury Dime isn't just an ordinary dime. First of all, let's talk about its design. On the obverse side, you see a young liberty with a winged cap, symbolizing freedom of thought. People often mistake it for the Roman god Mercury, which is why the coin is popularly called the Mercury Dime. The reverse shows a fasces, a bundle of sticks tied with an axe blade, standing for unity and strength, with an olive branch wrapped around it to represent peace. It's a design that carries both elegance and powerful symbolism, making the coin a work of art in itself. Now, here's where the excitement begins. The year 1942 was during World War II, and millions of these dimes were minted at different mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. While most of them are pretty common in worn condition, the true treasure lies in the rarest versions, the errors, and the highest quality examples. For example, one of the most famous error coins in U.S. history is tied to the 1942 Mercury Dime, the legendary 1942-41 overdate error. In this mistake, the number 2 of 1942 was stamped over a 1 from 1941, creating a visible double date. This wasn't just a small mistake, it was a striking mint error that created one of the most valuable dimes in American history. Collectors go crazy for this overdate error. In fact, one high-grade example sold for over $100,000, and some of the finest pieces have reached the six-figure range, close to $200,000 at auction. Imagine holding a dime in your hand that could buy you a luxury sports car or even a house. That's why collectors and treasure hunters search tirelessly for this coin. But it gets even better. Some unique condition examples, especially those graded by top coin grading companies like PCGS or NGC at MS68 full bands quality, have fetched mind-blowing prices, even approaching $500,000. And when rare error coins meet top grades, that's when the million-dollar magic can happen. Here's what makes the 1942 Mercury Dime so exciting. Even a regular one can carry solid value if it's in top condition. While most circulated versions are worth just a few dollars for their silver content, uncirculated and mint-state examples can be worth hundreds, sometimes thousands, depending on strike quality. For example, coins with the full bands designation, meaning the horizontal lines on the fasces on the reverse are completely visible and not worn down, can bring in much higher prices. Collectors prize these coins because they show off the sharpness of the original design. Now, let's step into the world of big money. Some rare 1942 Mercury dimes, especially the 1942-41 overdate in mint state condition with full bands, are valued so highly that their auction prices can rival luxury jewelry and even supercars. And this is why some of these coins are believed to be worth millions in the right market conditions. Imagine walking into a coin show or auction with a small dime in your pocket and walking out a millionaire. Sounds like a dream, right? But it's a dream that has already come true for lucky collectors and sellers in the past. And it's not just about rarity, it's about history. Owning a 1942 Mercury Dime means you're holding a piece of America's World War II-era heritage, a silver artifact that carries the spirit of freedom, resilience, and artistry from one of the most important periods in modern history. That emotional and historical value adds to the financial value, making collectors willing to pay huge sums just to secure one. Here's something to think about. When you're checking your coins, don't just look at the date, examine it carefully. That overdate error is not always obvious at first glance. The number 2 overlapping the 1 can be spotted with a magnifying glass. And if you find it, congratulations, you're in possession of a coin that could set you up financially in a big way. Even lower-grade versions of the error coin can bring in thousands of dollars. Higher-grade ones? That's where you start talking about rare collectibles worth hundreds of thousands, even pushing into million-dollar potential when demand peaks. Another factor that pushes value is the coin's silver content. Each Mercury Dime is made of 90% silver, which already gives it a base intrinsic value much higher than its original 10 cents. Combine silver value, artistic design, historical significance, and ultra-rare errors, and you've got a recipe for one of the most sought-after and expensive dimes in U.S. coin history. Picture this. You find an old coin album in your grandparents' attic. Inside, you see a shiny dime from 1942. You look closer, and you spot the 1942-41 overdate error. You take it to a coin grading company, and it comes back graded MS-67 full bands. Next thing you know, auction houses are calling, collectors are bidding, and suddenly, that small dime is selling for the price of a luxury mansion. That's the true magic of coin collecting.